welcome to another weekend in review. All thanks to Palmerbet, and what a weekend it was. Chris Roots, as I say, a good evening to you, mate. It was a sensational weekend of racing. And just off the top, can I just say to you, mate, you're all over Autumn Boy for the last 3 or 4 weeks, mate, and duly saluted. Cracking ride by Frosty Lane for mine. And yeah, great victory, wasn't it, in the Caulfield Guineas?
It was, and Chris Waller once again has the horse ready to go on the biggest day. Frosty Lane gives it a ride that matched the preparation, and we saw what happened. It won fairly easily. It was sort of being pulled up on the line, even though the margin was only a length. It was just too good for them. And whether he goes to a Cox Plate, I don't think he will. If he would go there, I think Jamie Carr would be in line to ride him. But I think it's job done as far as Chris is concerned. He's got the Cox Plate favourite, and he's pretty confident that he has the right horse there already. But you know, we're now talking about a lot of horses going to Cox Plates, like maybe Lindemann, maybe Globe. Like this is what this time of year is about, trying to
And
find
the
a
other,
winner before anyone else does.
And the other one probably in that mix too, Chris, is Observer, who was, unlucky. I still don't think would have beaten Autumn Boy, but that's the other horse that's getting discussed in regards to Cox Plate possibilities as well.
Yeah, they sort of wrote him up into a pocket, didn't he, and then had to come out and come again, which is always hard to do. And a really good effort by Observer, and it was a good third. I don't think it gets anywhere near the winner. I think the winner had a bit in hand if Damien needed it.
Hey, talking about Frosty earlier on in the day, it's amazing how your day can change. He was very, very unlucky on Whiskey on a Hill, and then comes out a couple of races later. He had a sensational day. He's had a sensational spring so far. You were surprised, to be honest. I think you were thinking that possibly J Mac was going to go that way last week, but I think obviously had to go Woderton way in the end. What did you make of Woderton? It's the coulda, woulda, shoulda again, isn't it?
Yeah, it just went back in the field. I don't think it was a race where you wanted to be any further back than where probably Autumn Boy was. It was at the edge of the horses that could win the race. If you see most of them,
Yeah,
they all come
first
from
four or
virtually the
five.
same point. Yeah. I thought when you got back in the field, it was very hard to make ground. I thought there was a really good run in this race, and I've had something on it in the Victoria Derby, and I'm hoping they'll go there with nepotism. I thought he was
Yeah,
really good through the line. He's better when he gets to the outside. He just kept on finding a line now. Whether they go to a Cox Plate, whether they come up for a Spring Champion, or whether they go to the Derby, they've got plenty of options with him. He's already a Group 1 winner. Um, I'd love to see him in the Derby from a personal point of view because he was the right price to have a bet earlier on, and around the $15 mark now, I think.
Chris, let's move along to the Might and Power. We always knew it was going to be a muddly run race, small field, 4 horse field. Globe, great ride by Blake Shin. Well done to Mick Price, Mick Kent Jr. Awesome training performance, and the Roll the Dice team. That is their second Group 1. Fantastic stuff. What do we make of Treasure of the Moment? What do we make of Buckaroo? I have to put my hand up here, mate, because I was a big Treasure of the Moment fan. You've been dead against with that setback in the campaign. Where are these horses at now, and where do they go to next, do you reckon?
I think what happened here, and this was always a danger with such a small field, we had James and James McDonald and Damien Lane, concentrating too much on each other and not really paying enough attention to Blake up front, who did what he wanted. And they thought he'd roll, put pressure in it, and they just pick him up and beat him. Blake Shin just outthought both these blokes and got the job done. And he's got a Group 1 for his horse. So it's amazing. It's an amazing effort by Blake. I think he should be getting an extra 5% for that ride from the owners because it was him and him alone who won the race for them. I think the other two are going okay. I think it was a good barrier trial for Buckaroo. As long as he comes through okay, I think he can run a big race in the Caulfield Cup. I just don't know where they go with Treasure at the moment. Do you go and take on the big guns in a Cox Plate, or do you wait a
Yeah.
week and go back to a mile and try and win it from Flemington? I think there'll be a lot of discussions there between Yulong and the team there just to work out what's right best for this filly because I know Mr. Zhang really loves this filly.
What about the winner, mate? Does it go to a Cox Plate? I'd love to see it
I
myself.
think
It's
it,
in form.
I think it does. And what if we can get a couple of leaders there? I think Lindemann and Sydney they're talking about going there as well. we could get a bit of speed injected into this race, we'd have to first generally run weight for age race for the for the spring. So that's what we'd really love to see. A bit of speed. I don't think you could win a Cox Plate. I don't think you could beat either Via or Sir Delius. But you know, Globe will be there, and I think Lindemann probably deserves to be there on what he's done this spring. I think we got on him at $13, and now they're taking $2.50 in a race.
Hey, listen, wasn't it great to see Giga kick back? First trainer I ran into at Caulfield on Saturday was Clayton Douglas, and he said to me, he said, don't worry, Matty. He said, the horse is absolutely flying. And that was a great win. And for kind of the last 12 hours, we thought, hang on, this might be a late little hand up for having another crack at an Everest, mate. Would have been a great story there, but just the week back up, too much to ask.
They made a conscious decision to go to this race and not go to the Everest. And no, I think they'll do the best thing by going to Flemington and waiting for all the other horses to come out after punching each other for 15 rounds and come to Flemington, and he'll be waiting there with Charmstone. So that'll be sort of the grand final. The sprinters, like, they'll have a grand final, and then a couple of weeks later they'll have two fresh horses waiting for them. These good sprinters.
Yeah, yeah. And let's get to the Everest. There's been so much talk. I can't remember so much build up for a race that has this. The last couple of weeks, it's been absolutely insane. What did you make of the trial? Everyone's had their opinions. What did you make of the trial and the jump out last week of the Hong Kong champ, mate?
Well, I thought he'd come out and put a couple of legs on them. That's what we've been hearing. We hear that he trials really well and things like that. But you've got to remember, Overpass is always a horse that trials about 6 to 7 lengths better than any other sprinter in Sydney. So all the other sprinters average sprinters sat in behind and did were about the same distance from Overpass. But I didn't expect Kylie Rising not to go past Overpass. So I have to say I was a little bit disappointed. But David Hayes said it's done its job, the trial now. It's taken the weight off that it needed to. He's ready to go. And, when you've got a bloke like David Hayes talking so glowingly and confidently about this horse, I think you just got to believe what you're hearing. But I cannot possibly take $1.75 about anything in an Everest.
Do you think, like, it's going to be interesting because we're obviously going to have the World Pool and stuff as well. Do you think we're going to get a better price on race day, Chris? Do we think we're going to get $1.92, or you reckon it's going to be tight?
Well, I think World Pool will sort of see him start 120 on the tote, which has got so much liquidity in it. So bookmakers are probably going to be tied to that price a little bit. So they might bet $1.60, $1.70, but I can't see him getting to even money. If he does, I think there'll be a lot of big players ready to step in. So it's going to be very interesting. He's got to come over here and do it. And if he can be crowned world's best sprinter. At the moment, he's sort of like, it's like that interim champion, isn't he? When you have all the belts and you just want to see him do it, like, and greats come out and win on that stage. So if he's what David Hayes says he is, and what Zach Purton has always said he is, he'll come out and do a job, and we'll be all saying, geez, we fell for the 3-card trick there with the trial. But I'm still with Lady Shenandoah and Jolly Star. They've both been good horses to me. I think they're the two best of the Australians, and I've got Briassa up there as well. So I could have something on it, which is a great story. It's been a year in planning. They won the Hunter last year, and the Hawks have said, we're going to win an Everest with this horse there.
Been amazing, the betting in the last 24 hours. So Jolly Star, Jimmy Star, both been plunged from kind of 15s into about $5-6. You've spoken to David Hayes. There's been a lot of beat up, around the traps as to there's issues and the horse is going to come out and stuff. You've spoke to him tonight, haven't you, Chris? And
I went out on Saturday. I went out on Saturday morning and watched him have a little bit of work there. He looked okay then. There was no indication there was something wrong. All I can say is David Hayes is saying it's laughable, all the talk around the horse. He said it's back to his Hong Kong weight. He's ready to go. It would be, I know David very well, and I don't think he'd be as open as he was in the conversations we had.
I love it. I reckon the theatre and the build-up is phenomenal. It's a sellout. It's going to be a huge, huge day at Randwick this weekend. It is going to be absolutely magnificent. I can't wait for it. Just on that, I was at Caulfield yesterday, mate, and fair dinkum, it was humming. Their ticket sales were up huge year on year. It was a really good feeling out there, and racing certainly at the forefront, which I think is absolutely brilliant. It's great to see. What do we make of the Caulfield Cup field moving forward to half yours into about $2.50 now at Palmer Bet, mate? It's short. Are we just looking for horses to maybe beat him?
Waited certainty off what he did in the Turnbull, doesn't he? The last horse that was sort of like this was Jamaica, and it come out and did the job
Yep.
easily. So um, it's a progressive stayer that's got in with the right weight. A great job by Tony McAvoy to get it in with the weight it's got, 51.5, I think. And it's at the top of its game. So if it comes out and does the job on Saturday, um, we'll all be saying we should have got on at the beginning of the spring instead of having to take $2.50 on Saturday.
Yeah, amazing, mate. What about other horses from the weekend of racing? Is there anything you're kind of black booking for the weekend review, mate? Anything you're looking at in some futures betting, Chris?
Yeah, it was one of those. Usually there's a lot to come out of these weekends and things like that. The Toorak, I thought it wasn't the greatest edition of it. Transatlantic was very brave to win, but I can't see a race for it going forward unless Tony Gollan freshens it up and comes back to 1400 in about a month's time. Um, it's just one of those ones where I couldn't find anything out of that. The 3-year-olds, well, they sort of take care of themselves, don't they, after that race? And in Sydney, I thought Lindemann was great, but where does he go? Is that the grand final day and just completely dominated Nashville when he's on leaders like that. He's like an artist. He's the Picasso of leaders, really. He
Yeah.
just sits there, saves them up, and then he gets going and throws the paint around like blue poles.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, where's Beedman go? I thought it was terribly unlucky up in Sydney. Where's it go next?
Yeah, I think it'll end up in. I think it'll end up in the Coolmore now. It didn't have a lot of luck. Very surprised to see. There's always been a rap on the Nathan Doyle horse, but I didn't think it was up to winning that race. So I think I'm looking elsewhere in the Coolmore, which is becoming a bit of a puzzle now. With I think the Whack, the Golden Rose winner, is probably the one that they have to beat now.
Oh, I reckon the other horse too to come out of Caulfield, which is going that way, I believe, is Point Barrow. That was a huge win against the pattern, I reckon, Chris.
It was
That
it
was
was
that was
it was
special.
fantastic from back in the field. They a lot of horses come from back in that field, so I think there was it might have just been better than them. I think it's a really nice horse going forward as well. But I really think we're getting to a point where the 3-year-olds are a bit of a mixed bag, and you've got to go with the one that's put the writing on the wall, and that was Beerwack with the Golden Rose
Yeah.
win, which blew the ratings apart.
Hey, listen, mate. Fantastic week ahead. Can't wait to or just watch this week unfold. To be honest, because yeah, as we said, it has had absolutely everything so far, and yeah, the build up to this Everest is phenomenal. It's going to be a cracking edition. Will the Hong Kong Star be just too good? Will we knock him off? I'll tell you what, it's going to be awesome, and you'll be heading out, mate. I know you'll be looking forward to it. And by all accounts, it's you can't get any more people in there. It is absolutely sold to the Scheissenhausen.
I have to apologise for my throat. I've just got a bit of hay fever and induced sore throat. So hopefully I'll be better by Thursday and be able to cheer one home on Saturday.
You'll be cheering them over, right? That is for sure. Download that Palmerbet app. Have a look at some of the futures betting. That is the way to go. You can get some value. The Bookies Bag 2.0. But as we always say, think is that the bet you really want to have. Chris Roots, it's always a pleasure, mate, getting the latest news off you. And as I said, can't wait to this weekend. It's going to be a huge, huge day. Caulfield Cup and, of course, the Everest.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.